BVB Army? Welcome back to another episode of BVB Army Hearts to Hearts. My name is Ruth.
And I'm Nicole.
And we have a very special guest joining us for this episode. This is our dear good friend from the BVB Army, Lara Watson.
Thank you for allowing me to come on the show.
Yes. We've been actually, Nicole and I have been talking here and there, like, we need to get her on. So. But we're finally happy. We're finally happy we have you here for this episode.
And I'm so happy to finally meet you.
Right, same.
I've been following you for so long now, and I feel like we've talked but never face to face. So this is pretty cool.
It's very cool.
I just want to say before we get into today's episode, for those of us who are watching who are big part of this fandom, may the force be with you for all you Star Wars nerds and fans. May the force be with you. I will admit, I've seen the movies, but I don't know much of that realm. I know like the basics, but not much of that realm. So
you're a fan of Star Wars, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I enjoy it. Like, I'm not hardcore Star Wars, but I enjoy it enough. Like, I know more than most, I'd say.
Okay.
Well, guys, we are here with another episode, and as you've seen the title below, we are going to do the Trinity of Terror tour recap right here. As we all know, the Trinity of Terror tour, try saying that 5 times fast.
It's hard to say.
Just ended, and the guys hopefully are taking a little break because they're going to soon be traveling to Australia here soon. As you can see, I have the amazing poster up here with all the tour dates here from this first leg of the Trinity of Terror tour. There is a lot that has happened throughout this tour. This was the Trinity of Terror tour. Blackfoot Brides was touring with Motionless in White and Ice Nine Kill. Opening act with Little Czar, who was there for the most part until somewhere towards the end where she ended and did her own thing and everything. But
I think the Florida date was her last date.
I think so. It was Florida. I want to know what were your guys' first like thoughts and everything when this tour was announced. Like all these 3 big bands were named and everything that they were going to be on tour together.
Let's go first.
So you go first.
Well, they're 3 of my 4 favorite bands, the 4th being Water Parks. So I was overwhelmed. I thought, this can't be real. This can't be true. Like Blackfoot Brides, Ice Nine Kills, and Motionless in White on a triple headliner, like one isn't more, like one set isn't going to be longer than the other. They're all going to be basically the same. They're going to switch out. It seemed perfect, and it was.
Yeah, honestly, I agree with you. I'm aware who Ice Nine Kills is. I've only listened. There's a few songs I do like by them. I do have to check out more of their albums, but I was like, this was like my dream tour. I have been dying to see Motionless in White live for so long now, but every single time that they ever like came down, it was roughly around when Blackfoot Brides was coming down. So I would always save up my money for Blackfoot Brides instead. But I was like, oh, it would be great for like Blackfoot Brides and Motionless in White to tour together. That'd be awesome. And it finally happened and I wasn't able to go. So like I was super thrilled to hear about this tour, but I just got super sad towards the end when I wasn't able to attend. But I'm glad that you both did. You both had fun for me.
I know. And it still breaks my heart, Nicole, that due to certain things you weren't able to attend the closest one to you at Grand Junction, Colorado. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, maybe there's a leg 2 and they come near you again to whatever state or city that is. So I'm really hoping we get a chance to.
I know, me too. Right. Would be great.
I'm trying to remember when this whole tour was announced. I want to say it was December of last year when it was announced.
Yeah, wasn't it pretty much announced like right after they were done with the in-between tour?
I think it was. I think it was like roughly near Christmas or December when this tour was announced, because then everyone's like VIP, VIP, VIP. Where's VIP? What is VIP going to look like? Because like again, 3 big bands.
Yeah, VIP wasn't announced until after Christmas, which I think that was something you and I were discussing, like if they were wanting people, were we discussing that if they were going to announce it, that they should announce it either, wasn't it before? No, it was after. We did agree that it should be after Christmas.
After
Christmas. I think because it was literally the week of, and we were like kind of talking about how if they announced VIP that week, it probably wouldn't have sold out as fast as it would have.
I think it would have put people in a panic mode because it's the holiday season and people are already stressing out about gifts already. And then if they put this out here, it's like, by the way, limited edition or like limited amount of VIP and stuff, or like, so
it was still a shock though with how quickly this tour was announced after just ending the in-between tour. That was definitely a shocker.
I can only imagine how much planning. I mean, I don't even know when they started like, hey, this is going to happen. Motionless in White, Ice Nine Kills, Black Veil Brides. You guys are going to be touring all together. It's like, when was this like the idea or like the process of this started? Like, let's talk about it. Great. Let's make it a reality. Let's make it happen. So,
well, and that's what I'm curious about. I'm actually wondering, how long was this Trinity of Terror tour in the making? Because did they start planning this while already being on tour for the in-between tour? Or was this planned before the in-between tour? Or was it literally planned immediately after?
My hunch is, I want to say it was like before the in-between tour.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. I could be completely wrong. Chris, if you know, please let us know. This tour, oh God, just like every single tour, this tour has been a roller coaster. But I do want to point something out because I'm going to be very forward here. A lot has happened to BVB on this tour. A lot has happened. And I don't know if Nicole, you heard this because like I was talking to Laura before you came in and we kind of like both heard it, that in a way, at least for Black Veil Brides, this was kind of like the cursed tour for them because everything that's happened to them during this tour. So
yes, I actually read a few tweets from some fans talking about how the tour was cursed. Not just for Black Veil Brides, but actually it just seemed like it was just BVB mostly, and Motionless in White. Ice Nine Kills was completely fine.
Unfazed.
I know, they're
exactly.
Like, I think to deal with the devil.
I was about to say, I think they sold their soul.
We'll say with VIP, when VIP was announced of how that was going to work, Nicole and I even discussed this a little bit in one episode. There was a lot of mixed reviews of how fans felt with VIP, the father and the son package.
I think it's bad that, considering that I wasn't able to attend the tour, it's pretty bad that I'm complaining about the VIP packages too. You know,
I know, Laura, you've been to an Ice Nine Kills concert before and they had something similar, like how VIP this tour went for yours concert.
Yeah, with the pandemic they changed to this setup. Before then it was very, very super personal, but the last show that I went to was in the midst of it all and they were doing the same format.
I'm actually kind of curious. Would you mind going into detail on before COVID, when you say it's a bit more personal? Like, would you say it's a whole different VIP experience compared to other bands?
Well, my experience with Ice Nine Kills was they were on the floor with you and you do like your little horror movie trivia and they divide you into teams. Each band member was the leader of a team. And then you could take like individual selfies with them, talk with them, get hugs, and they would like have their own little stations along the general admission floor that you could just talk to them at. And that was multiple VIP experiences with Ice Nine Kills. So they were a little bit more personal than some others that I've had VIP with. But at the same time, I understand why other bands don't do that kind of thing, but it is a nice experience.
It sounds like it. I'm kind of jealous. I wish more bands would do, fun VIP experiences like that. I just feel like it really helps them to connect with their fans more.
Because I think, Nicole, you and I have talked, I think probably on one episode and also just offline and everything, that how with VIP, even if it's like for 30 seconds, it's that one moment that we feel a little special with the band, even for 30 seconds. You got that special moment. I will admit, when I heard about VIP for this tour, I've been hearing, I was curious, how they're going to do all 3 bands. Do we have to pick a band to do an individual photo shoot? Or it's do we get or do we get all three bands? And then there was other talks about other certain ideas. So I was just like, what direction are they going to go in? And then they went in this direction. I'm just like, huh.
Yeah.
So I understand about like the father and son package, although I will the son package I almost felt like was a big rip off because you don't see the guys. That's just my opinion. You can come at me at the comments. That is just my opinion.
Well, when I went to the one that was like in the midst of the pandemic and they did that with just Ice Nine Kills, I guess it wasn't as clear to some people that bought that one that they weren't going to at least see them. They thought they'd like walk in and they'd still be on stage and like at least get to see them closer.
Yeah.
So when they got in there, they were like, wait, this is just early entry and some swag. So I can see the disappointment for sure.
Well, and for the price of the Sun package, I think that's that's pretty outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
It was $100, correct? For the Sun package?
Yeah. It was
99 plus tax. So technically you're
yeah.
paying like at max, maybe 105, 110.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, the Sun package would be worth about $55.
Yeah.
At best.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's reasons. I'm sure the bands and their team were trying to plan out a fair way for each fan to have their own VIP experience with the bands. Because I know, again, 3 big bands in one tour. I mean, that's a lot of fans who want to come and see. Like, I know when tickets came out, it was like that, like, boom, a lot of places were sold out. So
didn't some states, I think like maybe one in particular, sold out in a day or two, didn't it?
LA, Spokane, Washington. I can't remember the others, but yeah, it was like within a day.
It was fast. I only remember there being a few tour dates left.
Mm-hmm.
I feel even for someone who didn't go, I felt bad for everyone else. I've more so felt bad for people's first VIP experience, because I'm sure with all the talk they hear from other fans and from friends, they thought they were going to have that acknowledgement for that 30 seconds that you get to see them and talk to them. And I think for them to find out that they didn't get that, because I will say, I thought after the trivia, they do one by one, every fan could go and meet the band, but instead doing the whole group thing, that is a huge disappointment.
It was bittersweet, at least in the one in Spokane. We did not have whatsoever any time to turn around, talk to the guys for maybe 1 minute. It was like, go. And then when I went to Oshkosh in Wisconsin and saw the VIP there, they let us talk to the guys, and I'm just like, what the frick, Spokane? So
yeah, with my VIP, it was at Myrtle, and the stage was super, super high, like at least 6, maybe even 7 foot taller, like tall, which was 2 foot taller than me. And they had them lined up. So it was Black Veil, Motionless, and then Ice Nine Kills. And they made you line up before you could even turn around to talk to them. So where Sarah and I were at the front of the line, I ended up talking with Spencer and a little interaction with Chris from Motionless. But Andy recognized me from like the other end of the stage and waved, but I couldn't even talk to him because he was so far away. So it was like, I'm here.
I know. And I felt the same way, at least in Spokane. Like, I was somewhat in the middle between BVB and Ice Nine Kills. But like, again, they were just like hurrying us up. It's like, okay, get photo, go. Like, I barely had enough time to turn around, say hi to Andy. I just felt like I couldn't stay there because they were like literally rushing us out. I'm like, sorry, bye. Okay, bye. Peace. Okay. I was here. You saw me. So that was just like, what the frick? I'm like, give me at least 30 seconds to say hi.
Right. I feel like that was the problem, is no one was able to, it wasn't even like, you didn't even get to like really say hi to everyone. You kind of had to like pick and choose which bands you wanted to talk to, if you were able to talk to them.
It was literally like that, at least for the VIP experience I had in Spokane and in Oshkosh too, with Motionless and Ice Nine, because like there were some fans specifically just for one band. So it's just like, who do I talk to? Because I have like 30 seconds at the most, and it's just like, so yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine being like a fan of a certain band and then pushing you to the bottom of the stage and that band's on the other side. Like, I felt fortunate that I've done VIP where I've had that interaction before with, I think all but Motionless, I've done VIP before. So it was like, I can't imagine this being my first VIP experience and being a fan of Black Veil and being way down here.
It makes me think of just if a leg 2 is going to be announced and if VIP is going to be the same, or if they're actually going to respond and see the feedback of fans of how VIP went for them for the first leg and maybe change it for the second leg. I'm kind of hoping so.
That would be greatly appreciated, especially for the fans, for it being their first VIP experience for whichever band they were going to see. I mean, I think that it would definitely be a huge upgrade from the last tour. Well, and I guess if they keep it the same, maybe it is a good thing to point out to everyone. I think, Ruth, you bought Jake's vest. You purchased Jake's vest. And with that, you were able to meet him and Lonnie, correct?
Yeah. So for the BVB Army, it's Jake who does this and also Jinx who does it. If they happen, leg 2 is around and VIP is still the same. For those diehards BVB fans in the Army, Jake does post up a listing for getting one of his cool vests that he wears during the show. This is what it looks like. And even Jinx does it too with his own vest. And I think later on, Jake and Jinx like, now you can get our shirt. I'm like, cool. I will admit it is like $200 something. It's a bit up there, but how VIP went, it was definitely worth it because when I went to I got Jake's vest for the Spokane show. Here's a down thing is if you are a fan of Motionless in White and Eyes 9 Kills and BVB plays first, you need to go and get Jake's vest after they're done. So you kind of lose your spot for the other bands. Just pointing that out there. But it's really worth it because you get an email where to meet up. You usually meet the crew, one of the BVB crew. They lead you over to where Jake is at. And usually if Jinx is there too, because he's doing the same thing. With Lonnie, he does his guitar picks out and sometimes he's there. And I just got very lucky that he was there. Honestly, was not expecting that because of his accident, but he was very there and he gave me his guitar pick with the letter. So I would invest in one if you can afford it. It's a really cool experience. You get a little time to talk to the guys. You get a set list. You get Jake's guitar picks, the cool vest and all, and you get to customize. He'll sign his signature and then write whatever you want on it. I got Hold On to Hope, Take Back Your Soul online. So hi.
Did you, Laura, get one?
I did not. No.
That's okay. There's always next time.
Yeah, I saw the post, but I was like, I want to enjoy the shows. So
yeah. So with this tour, they went to a lot of places. So, to be honest, guys, when all the tour dates were announced for this tour, I was a bit surprised of all the places that they were going at because I'm like, these are 3 big bands and everything. I was expecting like bigger cities, bigger venues. When they came over here to Washington, I was full on expected Seattle. No, we're going to Spokane. I'm like, don't you want to go to Seattle? It's bigger, more spacious.
Right. That was the same for Colorado, and they could have gone to Denver or Colorado Springs, which Denver and Springs both hold such huge venues and they're major cities in Colorado, but instead they went to Grand Junction and performed in this theater that was only held 2,000 people, whereas they could have performed at like the Ogden or something that holds more than that. No, it was so weird that they went to a smaller location.
I'm sure goes a lot to planning a tour like this, especially talking to venues of like what's open. So maybe that was another factor they had to consider. Maybe all the venues in Seattle were just packed, like they just couldn't. And I'm assuming, for you, Laura, when the concert shows that you went to, they've been there before, right?
They had been to the Fillmore before, I believe. I believe I've seen them at the Fillmore, which is in Charlotte, which I found really strange because, Raleigh's our capital. Raleigh's our biggest one. And then the Myrtle Show is kind of a big venue. It's the House of Blues, and there's multiple House of Blues. So that one wasn't as shocking, but I was like, really? Charlotte? That's 2 hours from me.
Yeah, Grand Junction was 4 hours from me. I was like,
wow.
Nah. Well, and if I'm not mistaken, they completely like dipped on Texas, right? Not just Texas, but a lot of other states.
Texas was not on here. I was surprised. I was shooked because like there's a lot of fans in Texas. Why skip this big state? Like Dallas, Austin, like this is a big state. How?
You was gonna say, you can't tell me that there wasn't one venue in Texas that wasn't booked. I'm sure a lot of fans from Texas flew out to other states.
I'm sure they did. I'm sorry to the fans in Texas. I really am. I'm really hoping for leg 2 when it comes out, hopefully, that they'll have to stop at Texas. They have to. They can't skip you twice. I'm also surprised how they didn't stop in Ohio for like this leg. So
yeah, you are 100% correct on that too. Wow.
yeah,
I know what?
Yep.
What?
No, Ohio.
It is weird. I wonder how Andy felt about that.
Well, he got to go anyway, didn't he?
More than likely.
I think when he was sick, that's where he went.
Yeah, it's true. He did go there to stay with his parents.
Yeah. I want to know the planning team. I'm sure again, there's a lot of reasons why they missed Texas. They went to other cities that they've gone before, but it had smaller venues, especially for these 3 big bands. So I'm just like, a lot of questions in there. So the energy in this tour was definitely different than any Black Veil Brides concerts I've ever been to, just because there was fans from Ice Nine Kills and Motionless in White and obviously BVB. So it's just the energy felt, I can't even describe the energy in one word. It was just crazy and phenomenal. So Nicole,
I heard a lot of mixed emotions about the tour, like the energy that you're talking about. Like I hear from some fans like their tour was absolutely incredible and that they, the shows were amazing. And then I've heard from a lot of other fans how things got out of control. And I said all during Ice Nine Kill set 2, and I'm just like, dang. So I've heard so many mixed emotions about it.
Laura, were you in Barricade for any of your shows that you went on this tour?
Oh, I was at Barricade for Myrtle.
So may I ask, how was the crowd for Ice Nine and Motionless for you?
I'm used to an Ice Nine crowd. I've seen them like 10 times now, so they weren't any different than what I'm used to. They're actually not that aggressive towards the barricade. It's more back behind in like the pit area.
Yeah.
And Motionless, actually, the crowd was more rough than Ice Nine, and it was the roughest during one of their slowest songs, which is Eternally Yours.
What?
Yeah. The girls that are trying to get the roses are like rabid dogs.
Oh my gosh.
I can see that actually. I can see.
Yeah, I like leaned onto the barricade because the barricade was padded, and I just like leaned forward and waited for it to be over.
You are so lucky. You got a padded barricade.
Right. I was like, oh my God, it's padded. I just kept like touching it.
That might be like a new thing that venues are probably starting to do. They should, because leaving them metal is dangerous.
It is. I got a concussion from an Ice Nine Kills barricade because it was metal and a guy fell on me. So it was 200 pounds of guy on my head between the barricade and him.
Oh my gosh, girl.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't even, like, the worst thing that's happened to me is I got bruised ribs so bad because, when people, when they mosh pit, I know it's not really aggressive towards the barricade, but you still get the people that kind of get shoved into you. And I did have this one girl behind me, she was more of a heavier set girl, and she kept getting pushed up against me, which kept whacking me up against the barricade. And eventually when Black Veil Brides came out, though, she completely leaned on me. So I was squished. My ribs were like squished up against the barricade. But I was, I felt so free after the Black Veil Bride concert because I could breathe.
Yeah.
We did have 2 bad crowd interactions, but it wasn't specific to like being a fan of a band. We had one really creepy guy. He was an older guy and he kept like whispering in people's ears and trying to grab at them. He was escorted off property, and they asked the girls around them if they wanted to press charges. They said, no, we just want to continue with the show. But that was a weird moment. And then we also had a guy that was elbowing everyone around him like he wanted a bubble. And Sarah did not like that at all.
Anyone who's going to the next leg or any concert of these 3 amazing bands, like if you're by yourself, find concert buddies, or if you're going with a friend, please, because those crowd surfings and mosh pissing can get intense. And Cassidy, again, thank you for saving my life in the Oshkosh show. She literally saved me with everything that happened there. So I know the first touring was in Mesa, Arizona. Okay. I feel dumb all the time because Why Mesa, Arizona? Why there? Because I know in the last in-between tour, they started in Lincoln, Nebraska, because it was in between the states of the two bands. So why?
Right.
Is there a relationship to Mesa, Arizona, to either of these bands, or
Not that I know of.
Out of curiosity, for either of you two, has Black Veil Brides ever started a tour in your state?
No.
no?
Yeah, same here. I'm just going to point out, I feel like Black Veil Brides might have started another one of their tours off in Arizona. Maybe. I could be wrong, but I don't know. It's like Arizona, as for weird as it is, it seems like a pretty big place for music too.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Was Arizona the desert where they filmed In the End?
Was it?
It was either Arizona or Nevada. It was either Arizona or Nevada. And I'm thinking it was the Arizona desert. But that could be completely unrelated.
Chris, hi again. If you're watching, please let us know in the comments. Thank you. At least for Black Veil Brides, a lot happened to them during this tour.
And I just watched the Motionless tour update, and apparently they had a tire blowout or something, and they had to move all their stuff into moving vans and tour in a van for a while.
When was that? I never heard of that.
It was, oh gosh, it was like a couple of shows before the Florida show, because they do it in like chronological order.
Right.
And this was their second tour update. So it was just before the Florida show, just before Justin dropped off.
Wow.
Poor Motionless in White.
I know.
And they were sick too. I think they had like sinus issues or something. Chris,
Okay,
did
I
that one
swear,
show.
Eyes Nine Kills. You're right. Made a deal
Yep.
with the devil, because let's just start off with the first thing that all Black Veil Brides fans know. San Jose show in California, which was on March 19th. Poor Lonnie.
Oh, poor
That's when Lonnie broke his leg on stage within the first song of Faithless, when he collision with Jake on stage.
Can you imagine if they both got injured though?
Oh my God.
No.
That probably would have been terrible. I don't know how that would have went.
No, that would have been rough.
Yeah,
I know, but I feel so bad for Lonnie.
I know. Like I saw the first two, like everyone's fans showing on like in LA and Mesa, Arizona, and Lonnie just rocking out and everything. And then it came to the third show in San Jose. I can only imagine the pain he felt. And again, hands down to you, Lonnie. I mean, should you have done this? No, but you did it. You performed with a broken leg, balancing on one leg. I don't know how you did it, but you did. Thank you.
That's just so much dedication and talent.
Literally. That incident happened, which affected his performances within the next shows. They came to Spokane right after. That's when I heard about it. Again, he stuck out through the pain, and he did perform on a chair. But again, thank you, Lonnie, for that. After the Spokane show, they went to Canada, Calgary and Edmonton. I don't know which one did he do both Canada shows, or did he just do one before he like completely had surgery and everything?
I'm thinking just the one, but I'm not certain.
He either performed both the shows in Canada or just one, and that's when it was announced that he was going to take a break, be on leave because of his injury. So
the fact that he was willing to still continue that whole tour, I mean, of course, I'm sure he would have if the doctor never told him it was, as serious as it was. I'd rather him be resting his leg and having that heal and get better than him struggling and being in pain every single day and only making that broken leg worse.
I know. I think he's doing good. I think he made an update video on his YouTube channel about his leg and how and when he'll be back with the guys.
It'd be great if his debut was like Download Festival.
Oh my God, yes. Please. I just want to see him on stage again doing what he does. So, because like obviously I know Black Veil Brides had a fill in and everything for the rest of the tour, but it's not the same. Not the same energy.
Lonnie does bring a unique energy to that stage.
He just has fun with it. I love it.
Yeah.
That happened with Black Veil Brides. I don't know when it was, but I do know it was if you were going to go to the Grand Junction, Nicole, that's when Motionless could not perform because Chris' voice was pretty much gone and dead.
I know. Yeah. So it kind of made me laugh because I'm like, oh, well, I was so sad about it. but it kind of worked out because even if I did get a ticket, I wouldn't have been able to see Motionless in White anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, well, maybe that was kind of just a blessing in disguise, but I still wanted to see Black Veil Brides though.
Yeah, that's what they were talking about in that tour update.
Okay.
Ricky was talking about how both him and Chris were sick.
Now, did Chris only miss the Colorado show or did he miss a few others?
I think it was just the one.
I think
Just the one.
Colorado one, yeah.
When was the next tour date?
So let's see. It was just 2 days. So the Colorado was
Okay.
the 27th of March, and so next Wichita, Kansas, which on the 29th. So it was a 2-day break they had.
Oh, good. So I was gonna say good. They got a break then.
Yeah. 2 breaks. So definitely, I think, because I think he posted a video on his Twitter saying like, my voice is back, I'm great and everything. So boom. So
well, good. I'm glad that he was able to, get his voice back in just 2 days. Like that's fantastic.
That was happened to Chris. Wichita, Oklahoma City, Chicago. Okay, Chicago, I have a beef with you. Okay, the only reason why I say that is because after Chicago is when they came to Oshkosh, Wisconsin, where I actually traveled during my spring break to see Black Veil Brides again. An hour before door opening for VIP, it was announced that Black Veil Brides wasn't performing because of Andy, and the crew members got tested positive for COVID. Everyone says, we blame Chicago. I'm like, I'll ride with that right now. Yeah, okay, I'm with it. So
I'm so sorry, Ruth.
I know, my heart just broke when I saw all that because I'd been seeing your updates about how you were going.
No.
I was like, no.
It was a roller coaster. I will admit, I was in barricade even before Lilith Czar performed. I may have cried, but I was still there to support Motionless in White because I do like their music and wanted to be there for them. So,
but thank goodness for such a quick healing on Andy's part.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say that he came back either on Pittsburgh performances or Indianapolis, and I don't know which one of those they officially came back with Andy with his voice and everything okay. Either one of those two, I want to say. I think it was when Andy got tested positive with COVID, it's when people kept saying, is this the curse tour for Black Veil Brides?
Yeah, because so much had happened to that point.
No, I just feel bad for them because like they work so hard, and then just to be Lonnie being hit, and then Andy, and then Jake feeling kind of out of the weather. I mean, I think the only two that were somewhat okay was Cece and Jinx throughout this tour. So I'm sure Cece took very high precautions with COVID due to last tour.
Yeah, I definitely think, and it sucks too because I feel that every single band and all the crew members put in such hard work for planning this tour, and it just I'm not saying the tour fell apart, but in some ways it did. So yeah, just a little bit,
Just a little.
And I just feel awful because I feel like it did not at all go the way that everyone had wanted it to. But I mean, in the end, I just hope that everyone still had an amazing time regardless.
Same.
Oh, yeah.
I think after when Andy came back after getting tested negative with COVID, I think it was somewhat of a smooth sailing for the end of the tour for this part. So that's all.
Well, they did lose Justin from Motionless in White because his wife had her baby.
Oh, right. I almost forgot about that. Well, congratulations again for your baby.
Yes, congratulations for sure.
Congrats.
I'm trying to remember. Kyle, is that his name? Who was the fill-in for Lonnie?
Mm-hmm. It was Kyle. I don't know his last name, but I know his name was
just his
Kyle.
first name, Kyle. Well, from what I've been hearing, he's been doing good filling in for Lonnie. Obviously not replacing. I'm going to make that clear. Just a fill-in. No replacement. No, just a fill-in. I was actually looking forward to hearing him in the Oshkosh show, but yeah, from what I can tell, he's been doing really good. So thank you, Kyle, for filling in for Lonnie for this tour. So thank you.
Well, I mean, Laura, you got to see Kyle.
Oh yeah, yes,
correct.
I did, yeah. I got to see him pretty up close at the Myrtle show because I was on the right side of the stage, and Jake and Jinx favor the left side most of the time. So Kyle was pretty much my view during the Black Veil show, except for when Andy would come over.
Right.
And he was really good. It's no comparison to Lonnie, but he has his own style, and it was nice.
Nice. By any chance, I know I saw some photos because I know some of the guys, like obviously Jinx and Jake. Andy does his own thing. Did he kind of had his own, I guess you could say, war paint on? I don't know.
He did. He
Okay.
actually did. I remember like my brain noted, oh, he's got his own war paint. And I probably have a picture somewhere, but I don't really remember what it looked like. But I do remember thinking, oh, war paint.
That is actually super dope. I'm really curious to know what this looked like because I honestly wasn't aware about this. So I must seize.
Yeah, I'll go through my pictures and see if I have something.
Sweet. Like if I was Kyle, I'd be so scared. Like I know I'm not Lonnie, but
please remind me when you went to your VIP, Laura, for Myrtle Beach and Charlotte. Was Kyle there during the VIP or no?
No, he was not.
Okay, that's what I thought. Because when I noticed that, like, he was not there, whatever, only the Blackfoot Brides members. I'm like, oh, okay. So
it kind of makes sense though, because I feel like this is probably going to be a terrible way to explain it, but in a way, it kind of reminds me of How I Met Your Mother when like Ted is constantly bringing girlfriends over and to special occasions with like for Lily's, and they take photos. Like I feel like that's kind of how it would be for Kyle, and for some fans, they're like, yeah, that dude's not a part of the band, but he's in the photo. I mean it in such a loving way, Kyle, I swear.
Well, I do that with Ice Nine Kills VIPs from back in the day because Justin with Motionless in White used to be part of Ice Nine Kills. Oh. So I'll look at my old Ice Nine Kills VIP and go, he's not in that band anymore, but he's in this one.
I think that's how it goes for bands when band member switches here and there. Because I know, like, when BVB were kind of taking a break after Veil and everything, Cece helped Ronnie with his music video. I was like, oh, look, Cece's now in Follow in Reverse. I'm like, no. But,
yeah. The best picture I ever got with Cece was when he toured with them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I took a selfie with him because he was down on the floor with all of us.
You're gonna have to send us this so we can show everyone. I need to see this.
I mean, I know they play the radio festivals, which I heard went really well for all of the guys when they played radio festivals in Florida. So yeah, I'm happy for them. And also the big arenas too that they were able to perform to.
Yeah, and Justin came back for that tour because they live in Florida. So he was able to just like go from home to the tour.
Nice. That's awesome. Norfolk VA, is that Virginia? Yes. Okay. That was the last tour here on the 27th of April.
Yeah, I know a couple of people that went to that show. Ren went to that show.
Oh yeah, yes, I saw that. Ren did go with her mom
right.
and everything. Yeah. So yeah, I'm hoping that even if it was the last tour, I'm sure they were dead inside. They brought their all and gave the best that they can during that time.
I'm really hoping that all the guys, from each band enjoyed the tour too.
Yeah.
Despite everything.
Yes, I'm sure they had fun because okay, so I will admit I don't know much about Ice Nine Kills. I only know Spencer, the lead singer, no one else. Sorry, Laura. But one of the guitar players, yes, I think he was just making art out of chairs. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes.
That was just too funny. I'm just like, what is this? But I love it. So, and I think it was, one of the crew members or band members from Ice Nine Kills has a TikTok and kept posting everything on TikTok about like gaslighting someone in the band.
Patrick.
There you go. That was funny.
Yes, he's hilarious.
Shelby, is that her name with the orange hair?
Gosh, why did her name just leave me? Chevy.
Oh, okay. I know she has a TikTok, and I know she was helping out with Ice Nine Kills and everything, and with trivia and stuff. So it was kind of see like kind of the behind the scenes type stuff there.
She has a million hats, and she just amazes me. I praise her all the time.
I think something that's also worth mentioning is for this tour, every single band had such kick-ass merchandise.
Yes.
I love the shirts of the tunes and everything. And that one I got you, Nicole, of Andy with his gloves.
I live for both of those shirts. Yeah. And I Ice Nine Kills had a ghost face shirt.
I know.
just couldn't believe. I was like, what? They have a Ghostface shirt.
They had
Yeah,
a Sam shirt too from Trick or Treat. It was so cute. Oh, was that Motionless? I think that was Motionless.
Yeah,
So,
Motionless does.
there you go, Motionless. That was Motionless. Also, I know we haven't talked to her, but Lil Sar, I think she did a phenomenal job opening up for these three big bands. So Keen herself, she did amazing too. It was very nice to finally hear her live again.
Yeah, how was she live for both of you? Unless because she performed at the last for you said?
No, I didn't get to see her at all.
You didn't
Oh,
get to see,
okay.
yeah, because I think she stopped performing. I want to say Pittsburgh. I don't know why Pittsburgh is in my mind.
Yeah,
But
I
if
wasn't
I'm wrong,
sure
I'm
which
wrong.
one.
But yeah, she only did like half of the show. Beautiful performance. Her voice is just incredible, like her range and everything.
We mentioned openers. I was just going to say they picked up Fame on Fire in Florida, and I've heard them with Ice Nine Kills before. They are an amazing opening band. They even do a Linkin Park cover.
Really? So are they more local? Are they like local for Florida?
I think they're local for Florida, and they
Okay.
just did like the East Coast dates.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like why can't I think of the name? Why can't I think of the name? The band that, oh my God, this is terrible, Nicole. I can't. The band that we interviewed, Ruth, that opened up for Black Veil Brides, or not, yeah, for Arizona. Why can't I think of their name?
Brace yourself.
Brace yourself. See, I was about to say that was pretty cool because it's like they got to do that same thing for Black Veil Brides in Arizona. So I think it's pretty cool how some tours are doing that for local bands these days. It's awesome.
I think it's a wonderful opportunity for that.
Yeah.
And it's so nice for big bands like these to do that for those local bands, just to get their kind of name out.
It's incredible because I feel like that was not a thing back in the day. I feel like local bands would tour with only other local bands.
Right.
Yeah.
I do want to say this. I know Andy addressed this in one of the Florida shows. I don't know which one he did, but the comment that what's his name?
Gene Simmons.
Thank you. Gene Simmons made the comments of how rock is dead due to fans. Yep. That sigh said it alone.
Yep.
Is it bad that I don't think Gene Simmons has room to talk?
Right.
Agreed.
Like the relevancy isn't there anymore.
If anything, I personally feel that Gene Simmons might actually have a bit of jealousy behind it all, because if you think about it, Kiss is really no longer huge in this newer generation. It's pretty much all about these newer bands, and I don't think he likes that very much. And which is why I think he had the audacity to go out there and say what he, say all that he said, just because I feel like he just wants to get himself and his band talked about again. I feel like it's all just for publicity.
Possibly. Yeah. We all know that Andy grew up listening to Kiss and looks up to Kiss, and that's where he got an inspiration. So I can only imagine how he felt when his icon, his idol said that. And I'm just like, that was uncalled for, honestly.
It was.
I'm sure it was definitely a slap in the face to Andy.
Honestly, because I'm like, I'm sorry. When you started Kiss, did you have fans? Was it your fans that made you Kiss? The Kiss that we all know? I mean, what? For the record, rock is not dead to the fans. For the record, I'm just saying that right now.
There's always going to be those classic rock fans.
Yeah.
And those people that are like, new rock isn't rock and stuff like that. Like, I was named after a Kiss song. So Kiss does have a little place in my heart too. But hearing that, I'm like, what?
I was just kind of like in disbelief. I'm like, it's your fans who made you where your band Kiss where it was. The fans are doing exactly the same thing to every new rock band, especially for Black Veil Brides, Motionless, every single rock band out there. It's their fans that are keeping rock alive and spreading the word and everything. And like with Andy, with his book and everything, like he's expressed that his inspirations, everything comes from Kiss. And so, newer fans are going to read his book or see old interviews and like look up Kiss and see who this Kiss band is and everything.
If anything, it is, like you said, bringing in a newer generation for the classic rock music.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why.
I mean,
I just don't know why.
I feel like it's hard to interest newer generations into older generations, things. I feel like just the newer generation, for some reason, their mind is more focused on what's trending and what's new rather than what was fashionable and fun back in the day.
True.
Right.
But I will point out, like, rock and roll, it's not something that is old necessarily, and it's not something that we can really say back in the day. Like, rock and roll is still alive to this day, and it's going to continue on even after us. But I feel like rock just keeps progressing.
And rock has never been the trendy thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah,
never.
It was always something to hate on. I mean, I freaking got bullied for liking rock and roll instead of pop music. Like, it's so dumb.
Full stop. Rock is not dead.
Rock is not dead, for the record, guys. If you think it is,
we've got some band suggestions.
Band suggestions. These three for right here for one, particularly this one in the middle.
The good thing about those three, though, is that their music is so different that if you don't find a love in one of them, you're gonna find a love in one of them.
Oh yeah, and there's
what did Andy throw at your shows, Ruth?
nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, to be fair, okay. So, I saw him in Spokane, and I know it could just be me, but I had a hunch that Andy did everything he could for the show. And I know a lot has happened even before the show with his loss of his grandma. And then obviously Lonnie breaking his leg, which put him into like, oh God, high alert. I almost felt like he wasn't 100% there himself, just because he had so much going through his head and everything, or God knows what was going on. And so for the Spokane show, he did his best. I appreciate it. Again, thank you, Andy, for doing it. I could tell he was concerned about Lonnie because Lonnie was back there on a chair. Yeah, he did his thing. He waved and everything. And towards the end, like, he said thank you. And then he just left. Like, he was literally, his main concern was Lonnie. He was there to help Lonnie get back on his crutches to go backstage. He didn't throw anything. He just waved and said thank you. And then he just left. And it was mostly just Jinx, Jake, and Cece who threw stuff out. So yeah.
That's both amazing and sad at the same time. Like, the camaraderie between those two is just unspeakable. It's so great.
I mean, did he throw anything for your shows?
He actually did. He only threw one thing though. And I hope this person is active on social media.
Oh God, what is she?
I want to see it. It was his bandana he had in his back pocket, and he had written $4,000 on it.
Oh.
So they got a bandana that said $4,000 that was in his back pocket. I hope they're on social media. I hope they frame it. I hope they do something really beautiful with it, like a picture of him with his grandmother or something.
I swear to God, if I see it up for sale on one of those shopping apps, I'm gonna be pissed.
That's what I'm saying. They better cherish that forever.
That's what I said.
He threw that. Oh my God, my heart.
Yeah.
Yes, whoever fan got that bandana that says "Rip Grandma," cherish it, please, because seriously, just please cherish it. That's all I can say.
Take good care of it.
Frame it. Anything. Out for this tour, for the Trinity of Terror, how would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
I probably would rate it 8.5.
I was thinking 8 for me.
Yeah.
Nicole, you didn't get a chance to go to one, but from just hearing and seeing everything, how would you rate it?
I would probably definitely rate it maybe just based upon hearing everyone's stories and opinions about it. And if I were to have gone, I think I would probably rate the tour like a 8 or 9 out of 10.
All right, so we're someone in the same field, so average like 8.5. We were giving it this one. All right, BVB Ice Nine Kills Emotional Light. We give you an 8.5 for this first leg of Trinity of Terror. I can't. Again, say that 5 times fast.
It's hard to say. Trinity of Terror tour. There's so many T's.
All right, go. Okay, I'm gonna try first. I'm gonna go. Okay, 5 times fast. Trinity of Terror tour. Nope.
You gave up that quick.
Trinity of Terror tour. Trinity of Terror.
It's a one and done. I'm just not used to VIPs being the way that one was, and that's the majority of the reason why I knocked it down.
I think,
to an 8.5.
yeah, to be fair, I think that's probably the reason why I knocked it down to an 8 is because of VIP.
I agree with both of you. And I think that's the same reason why I would honestly rate it the 8.5 out of 10. So 8.5. Because I know everyone else put on a hell of a performance. I know the shows were amazing, but the VIP could have been better. So you guys, today's fan shout out actually goes to this wonderful, wonderful mom named Sabrina. She unfortunately, I'm pretty sure she's not on Twitter. If you are, I apologize. I know she used to have a Twitter. I don't know if she still does or not, but she is on Instagram, you guys. She's going to be at I Am London's Mom. She's been a Black Veil Brides fan pretty much since the beginning. I remember, and I'm pretty sure I first met her on Twitter, actually, and she supports Black Veil Brides daily. She's always posting about them. I mean, her dedication towards the band is absolutely incredible. Sabrina, I don't know if you watch our show or not, but regardless, I hope you see this fan shout out. This one is for you. Thank you so much for just being a part of the BVB Army and lifting all of us up. I appreciate it. We all do. Fan shout out goes to you.
I think this does wrap it up for this first leg of the tour of the recap. If we did miss anything, please let us know in the comments below. We probably did. Most likely we did. Thank you, Laura, for coming on to help us with this awesome recap of the first leg of this tour. Thank you so much.
I loved it.
It was I'm just so happy we finally got you on here and everything, because we've been messaging here and there and then boom, it just happened. So
we've been talking about you.
We're like, we need to get her on. We need to get her on. When? What topic? I don't know, but we need to get her on. So
I'm always here to talk as long as we have something to talk about. So
yay!
Just let me know if you ever want me back.
Oh, noted.
There will be a next time for sure.
Noted.
Of course.
Where can the fans find you, Laura?
Lara Watson 1313 on everything except TikTok, and TikTok you add an extra 1, so Lara Watson 1313
Please go give her a follow, BVB Army, on all our social media platforms, and please also subscribe to her YouTube channel here. Please subscribe. She puts a lot of work on her every video she does and everything, so please subscribe to her channel. I think you call them your little ghosties, is that correct?
My lovely little ghosts.
Yeah. And all of our the descriptions will also be all of our links to our social media platforms will also be down and below in the description. So please give us a follow and follow our Twitter account. May is here. Nicole, before we know it, June's going to be here.
I know. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be chaotic.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you were listening, thank you guys so much for listening. Yes, it is the podcast too. You can find us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. I'm just going to put her on the spotlight, but in case you guys don't know, Laura's birthday is coming up here soon in a couple days when this episode is uploaded. So wish her a happy birthday coming up on, please remind me,
May 6th.
May 6th. May 6th. Please wish her a happy birthday on May 6th on our social media platforms. Happy early birthday to you, Laura.
Thank you.
Yes,
this was a great birthday present.
Oh, good. I was about to say, that's great. Happy early birthday.
Please subscribe to our channel, follow all of us on our social media platforms, and we will see you next week. Goodbye.